So the problem with Tekpe is most of the guys don't have like visas. They're like immigrants with, or some people
Illegally
are
working.
illegal workers.
Yes.
So they cannot report the injustices in the Tekpe, and they cannot speak Korean. Because when I was there, they were like, 씨발 진짜 흑인들이 일을 못하네. Like I can understand what they're saying, but they didn't know I can understand Korean.
Yeah.
It was the most racist place I've been to, and also when you work in Tekpe, they give you some dinner or something, I don't know how to call it, at night.
At night, those meals.
And so for like black people, like not even like foreigners, for black people, we were told that we could not eat in the restaurant.
Really?
What?
So they gave us some soda and bread, and then for Chinese and Koreans, they gave them like rice and some
Really?
like proper meal.
That's pretty racist.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was like, why are they doing this? And then they're like, oh, because black people don't eat rice or something, they don't like Korean food. I was like, but I'm black, I want to have Korean food, I don't like bread. But then so it was just the most racist experience I've gone through, and you cannot report it because you have people illegal like immigrants
You will
working there.
affect them.
So it's going to affect their livelihood. It's a struggle.
For me, my worst experience, I had like two, but one of them, it's like regarding racism as well. Like, we were drinking outside some CU, and we were like very normal, just chatting with some foreign friends outside of the university. And there was one Ayoshi that got very drunk. We were not even aware they were there, but suddenly we heard that some like soju bottles, like they were being smashed. And when I turned my head to that direction, I saw the guy like grabbing like a broken bottle of soju.
Really?
And like it put it on one of my friend's neck.
Trying to stop.
And he was like saying like, oh, you're here to steal our women, you are like you have to leave Korea now and stuff like that. And we were like all surprised, like we were telling our friend like, dude, stand up because he's gonna like cut your throat or something. And he was like, are you sure I should do that? And, yeah, sure. And then we all stood up, I guess, like we stand up, and the guy, I don't know, like realized we were like 10 people. And he was like him and his friend, like the Korean Ayoshi and his friend. It was crazy because he started saying like, foreigners, bad people, and you should leave Korea. He started saying like that. But then when he saw that we were all like really pissed off at him, like I guess he felt the threat from all of us, 10 people we were. So then he started like apologizing immediately. He was very drunk, by the way. And he started like apologizing. He went inside of the CU and he bought a lot of cha, like meshil cha and pori cha, stuff like that. And he gave it to us for like
after holding
after like putting like a broken bottle in my friend's neck. And then he left. And I think 5 minutes or 10 minutes later, the police show up. And we're like, oh, of course, now we are the bad guys with the police thing. But luckily, another Korean had called the police and explained everything like properly. They were he reported he reported like there was this Korean Ayoshi who was trying to hurt them. So when the police came over and talked with me and a couple of guys, they said like, are you okay? Do you want to report it, and do you want us to find him? And like nobody got injured, and we're like, no, it's fine, like he gave us free tea. So
reported that you'd get like, I don't know, a compensation.
Maybe, but we were tired, so we didn't do it.
Like when it comes to racism, to be honest, don't think I experienced much, maybe except for like people avoiding sitting next to me on the classroom. That's kind of common. But on the train, this one ajoshi, like it was the only time I directly experienced racism.
Mm-hmm. How was it?
In the train, I'm standing, line 5, and then the guy is suddenly, he's sitting in the elder people's seat, and I'm just standing next to that place, and suddenly he's just looking at me and yelling, okay, go back to your country, what are you doing here, you Indian. I was like, who's Indian? The thing is, he's yelling at me, he's yelling at my face.
No, you're Indian.
There are people around me, nobody's doing nothing. Everybody's just watching.
That's Korea.
Now, he's yelling at me. He's screaming, get out of my country. What I did is, I was in front of the door of the train. I went and stood right in front of him, and I held the, I was like, "Are you talking to me?" It's like, "Yes, you're Indian. Go back to your country." I was like, "Who's Indian?" And then he's telling me, "Where are you from?" Wait, he's like, "Wait a minute, he's not Indian. Let's see. Wait, what are you?" I'm like, "I'm from the Middle East." "Saudi?" "No, I'm not from Saudi." And then he switched his tone, like, I worked in Saudi like 20, 30 years ago when I was young.
But that's crazy.
But still, he was like, those Indian people.
Why
I was
is he like racist?
No, that's really
Probably
compromising.
he got bad experience over there with some locals.
Probably.
But he
that's
used to
why.
live abroad. He should be more understanding.
He was like, he probably.
I don't know.
Wow, man.
I mean, he was more open to more experiences, but you don't know what those experiences
No, but then
were.
it's still racism.
I think when you talk about racism, people who lived in Korea, like mostly Seoul, if you've like lived mostly in Seoul for most of your life, then your experiences with racism will be really few.
Yeah.
But then if you live in Seoul and you work in like how do you say, white collar job, I think you are going to experience less racism than probably someone who lives out of Seoul and works in like a blue collar job.
But to be fair, in all of my racist experiences that I had here, there has been always a counter side, like a Korean that tried to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Like I had the same situation like you. I was in the subway with Pamela from Mexico, and a Nayoshi suddenly approached her, and he was like pushing her,
Really?
and Pamela was like
What the hell?
yeah, what the hell? And I didn't realize about that, and she came to me and she told me like, can you protect me because there's a guy like wants to hurt me? And I was like, what the hell is happening? And I saw this guy very like angry looking at her, and I told her like, just stand behind me. And the guy approached me, and then he started like grabbing me by the shirt.
Wow.
And
Really?
and I saw everyone like not doing anything, and I was like,
Oh,
this
that's-
is. I mean,
that's
I guess
the
this is the
terrible
true
part.
power of Ayoshi. They are not. they are untouchable.
Immunity.
They are untouchable. But then another Ayoshi, probably older than him, I don't know. But he stepped up and like he started grabbing him. The other, so it was a battle between Ayoshis, right?
Oh, that's good. That's,
Yeah.
That's,
And
that's
locally-
Clash of Ajoshi.
Yeah.
Clash of Titans, and luckily the metro stopped and the doors opened, and I think the guy was really drunk because the Yoshi that was protecting us, he pushed this dude, and he like even tripped and fall outside of the metro, and the doors closed, and we just left.
Oh,
Oh,
Wow, you
interesting.
really got saved by another
Yeah.
Ajoshi. That's really nice.
That's
Yeah.